Let's head to America, where former U.S. President Donald Trump's argument that he should be exempted from prosecution due to his status as a former president on allegations that he plotted to rig the 2020 election was met with severe skepticism on Tuesday by a panel of U.S. appeals court judges. The 77-year-old Trump attended the appeals court hearing held under tight security in a federal courthouse just blocks away from the U.S. Capitol, stormed by his supporters on January 6, 2021. A three-judge panel of the Federal Appeals Court in Washington heard arguments in a momentous case over former President Donald J. Trump's claim that he is immune from criminal charges for the efforts he took to overturn the 2020 election. Trump, who was impeached twice by the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives while in office, but acquitted both times by Republicans in the Senate, is scheduled to go on trial in Washington on March 4 on charges of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election won by Democrat Joe Biden. Joining me on the news to discuss this is Otumba Olabode Oseni, a political and public affairs commentator. Thank you very much for joining us. You've seen the footage and the photos released. Lives were lost and injuries were recorded. What do you make of the January 6 insurrection at the Capitol building?
Thank you very much, Felicity, for having me. The January 6, 2021 insurrection was historic. Historic in the sense that nothing like that has ever happened, I think, since 1872 or something like that. So it is a situation where America legal jurisdiction, jurisprudence is battling with what to do with Donald Trump, and also with that incident of January 6, 2021. As we speak now, Donald Trump is doing everything possible to make the American justice to be dysfunctional, to make it impossible for judges to get their heads straight. But it looks like anything and everything he touches as to want to overturn, want to undo what happened January 6th is probably going to fail, even though there's a big conundrum in the settling this matter before court of laws. The Supreme Court is supposed to be the last bus stop, and the Supreme Court, because of the nature of the structure of the Supreme Court, has about 6 conservatives who are probably likely wanting to support a conservative Republican president. Probably we have to have a rethink whether wanting to support him in all the shenanigans, all what he has been doing, whether they're going to support him or not, is yet to be seen.
All right. According to the criminal charges filed against him and the election disqualification from states, is there an underlying reason for prosecuting Donald Trump?
The underlying that may eventually can happen is probably just not there, because the issue of his participation is yet to be clearly established before the court of law, and also his involvement in the efforts to overturn the result of 2020 election in America. All those two major areas would be an underlying issue to get Donald Trump succeed in the coming election. But having said that, the way American politics and legal operate is quite different from some other European countries that I know very well. So we need to wait and see how things pans out.
All right, attempts were made to impeach Trump twice, but it proved abortive. What are the stakes in this trial?
Well, you need to understand that the process of impeaching a president in America is not as easy as it sounds. yes, you can have a majority in the committee of the Congress, the impeachment committee, but then it will need to be ratified by the Senate. And majority plays a key role in the final, in putting final touches to the full impeachment of the president of America. And last time, there wasn't any enough majority to do that job. So hence he got off the hook twice. And he's still like using riding high. And if you listen to one or two statements by his lawyers, they are using that as an excuse and say, look, here we are. Mr. Former President has never been impeached. And because of that, that could be linked to his immunity and so on. But again, the whole world will, Americans have to wait and see what is going to come out of all these cases against him.
Trump says he should be immune from the charges. Is there a possibility that he will survive March 4 and go on to win the 2024 presidential elections?
Again, the probability is just not in the horizon. I'm not too sure as an observer, but I have no doubt in my mind that with the look of things in the Washington court day before yesterday, when his lawyer was talking about he has immunity, the three judges, women judges, they take like a kind of, well, they're not going to laugh about what they think is impossible, but they still need to make a judgment and break it down to let the world know how they arrive at their judgment. But from all look of things, what Donald Trump is asking for is just impossible, because part of what he's saying that if a president chooses to kill his rival, chooses to kill a policeman or even ordinary a mini cab driver, he can get away with it. And I think the court will need to decide whether is that the kind of immunity they're talking about. And like I said, from all look of things, the judges that at least had that case, they're making nothing out of it than this is just not on. And he's probably going to lose that case. So yes, the president has immunity, but then again, it depends on what he uses his immunity for, but not the area of insurrection that happened January 6th. So he's probably not going to win that case.
All right, incumbent President Joe Biden is under fire for his son's misdeeds, with Republicans calling for his impeachment. There are talks that Trump's trial seems like a bid to distract Americans. What's your take on that?
As I said before, I think your third question was about impeachment and so on and so forth. The probability, yeah, of course, they're trying to create a kind of a distraction. But at the end of the day, to impeach Joe Biden as what they are unable to do with Donald Trump last time, the majority is just not there to finish that job. So he might be, they will probably try, but I don't think they will succeed in impeaching Joe Biden this time around.
Otumba, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you very much for having me.